Well, now let's go on to this. Archbishop Thabo Makgoba of the Anglican Church delivered his Christmas sermon at midnight mass. He focused on Gaza, Sudan, and the corruption among South African politicians. Makgoba's call for peace and justice in the world follows in the tradition of one of his predecessors at the church, Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Yazeed Kamaldien reports in Cape Town.
Archbishop Thabo Makgoba was very clear in his Christmas sermon. The world is sick with conflict. He said there are currently 40 conflicts globally, highlighting the plight of Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank.
No matter how hard I try to fill my heart with joy of Christmas, it gets harder and harder. The state of our nation and the state of the world in these seasons of Advent and Christmas render us a confused human race. 2 weeks ago, a pro-Palestine protest in East London touched my heart deeply, for a banner carried by marchers drew vivid attention to the many thousands of children reported to have died in the war in Gaza.
Archbishop Makgoba likened the killings of Palestinians to what happened in biblical times in Bethlehem, where Jesus was born.
Too many children are no more in the place where Jesus was born, in the land in which he lived and ministered, and the territories through which he journeyed. The parallels between the time of Jesus' birth and the cruel reality in the Holy Land today are obvious.
Archbishop Makgoba called out arms manufacturers as the only beneficiaries of conflict.
The war must stop. Prime Minister Netanyahu and Hamas leaders must go to the table. The Americans must stop arming Israel. Iran must stop arming Hamas. And anyone else supplying weapons to those killing fields must stop to do so. Arms, dear friends, never win peace, no matter who the enemy is. They only enrich arms manufacturers and their shareholders.
Focusing on Sudan, he said this African country has also seen thousands being killed and millions displaced.
And so on this holy night, it saddens me that it is not only Gaza which is engulfed in war. Our world is sick with war. In 40 different places on a recent count, the disruption which characterized the Holy Land at the time of Jesus' birth and which we see again today is replicated in Sudan, where the United Nations tell us that nearly 6 million people have been forced from their homes since 2 heavily armed military forces began a civil war 9 months ago.
At home, he lamented how South Africans are saddled with lies and corruption.
So now, dear friends, let us finally admit to one of the saddest lessons of history. It is frightening to realize that as a society, we've become so worn down by lies, corruption, and incompetence that we are no longer interested in finding out the truth. We have been captured by lies. Meanwhile, as politicians begin to realize they may not be in power after the next election, their deception scams, and fraud grow more blatant by the day as they grow hungrier and hungrier for the ill-begotten proceeds of power. They walk shamelessly and brazenly with their dirty feet through every aspect of our South African lives.
For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Yazeed Kamaldien in Cape Town.